collecting dramatic, moody B-roll. Let's talk about this week. What happened? Before we jump into things, I do want to say this is a beautiful land. I have in general enjoyed my time here, and I very much recommend coming to visit if you want to get a little bit more of this spiritual, grounded, earthy countryside. In today's video, I'll be telling you about a very financially and emotionally expensive week that I just had in Pai, Thailand. I want to take you through my expenses to give you a sense of how much you might actually spend when you come and visit Thailand, and also what you might spend if everything goes wrong. If you want to use this video to get a sense of how much money that you would be spending in Thailand, I am a little bit of a lame person. I don't do too many activities or excursions, so you would want to add whatever cost of that there might be. Typically, you could expect to spend between low end, like 30 baht, and then upwards to a couple thousand. Another note as far as expenses, I eat at medium nice restaurants. Well, this is what happens. I go to a cafe and I could have an affordable meal, but then I want to get like all the things. So that starts to add up somewhere in 200, 300 baht. You can easily spend only 50, 60 baht on a meal. If you're gonna go to one of these like mom and pop Thai restaurants, you know you're at an authentic restaurant if you're asking yourself, am I just in somebody's house? We did go to one restaurant that was more upscale. I don't actually know how much it cost because, but I'm guessing it was somewhere around 1,000 baht. I did rent a motorbike for 5 days, which was in the beginning basically necessary. I was staying at a place more out of town for 3 nights, and then I stayed at a very budget hostel for the remaining. I bought some clothes, some cute new outfits. All right, so what actually happened this week? Oh, I don't even want to relive it, but okay. So I've added up all my expenses. I've categorized them based on housing, food and drink, transportation, entertainment, other personal items like shopping. I'll also be categorizing things based on the level of tragedy. Some of these things are entirely avoidable and they really shouldn't have happened. Well, everything happens for a reason, but I really wish they hadn't happened. So you'll both get a baseline number of how much you can expect to spend and then how much you might end up spending if you have my luck. Entertainment, we spent $15.93. Food, $85.92. Clothing, $45.07. Transportation, $40.56. I spent $21.03 for the motorbike for 5 days versus the 3 cabs that I took to go to my first Airbnb was $13.52. It's definitely worth not taking cabs. $161.05 on housing. My Airbnb, which was amazing quality for the price. I highly recommend that spot. It has so much heart. The owner has a turtle that he walks every day in the afternoon. It was a real joy being out there. $111 for 3 nights versus my hostel is like $8, $9 a night. So you can be very budget if desired. So what I should have spent, if that was all I had done, if that's all that had happened, I would have spent $348.53, which that's pretty good. That's well within the budget that I've had for this trip. But yeah, unfortunately, that's not all that happened. I didn't just stay at a cute little Airbnb and go to little cafes and drive out in the countryside occasionally. No. That's not all that happened. On the 3rd day I was here, as I was changing hostels, I'm on my little scooter bike. I have a bag on the front and the back. I'm just trying to get to my freaking hostel. I'm 100 meters or something from my hostel. I see these police officers on either side of the road, and I'm like, well, I'm confident in myself, and I have to go to the other side of this road to get to my hostel. That was not a great plan. I get flagged over by the police officer, and he's like, where's your international driver's license? And I was like, you mean driver's license? And he was like, no, international driver's license, which apparently is some piece of paper that I'm supposed to get somewhere. I don't know. So I don't have that. I get a ticket. The ticket costs $15. And I'm already pretty done. I find the scooters pretty scary while I'm laden with all of my shit. I'm like, okay, I'm basically done with this experience, but I keep the bike, I keep riding it around. And then, not 2 days later, That's when the regret really set in. It's rainy. It's rainy, it's late. I'm trying to get gone. I'm trying to meet up with my friend. I'm in a little bit of a rush. I'm trying to get over this curb. I went down. I went down on the bike. The bike fell. There was damage. I mean, maybe. Who could say? And I don't even know the full extent of it. But currently, for the damage, I've already spent $89.49, which compared to US prices, not bad, not bad. But the knowing that I didn't have to spend it and the surpriseness. Also, I had just bought my new outfits and I was wearing one of them when I fell and that got dirty, so it also felt like that was a waste, or at least I shouldn't have spent the money at that time. If I hadn't had the ticket and the accident, it certainly would have been worthwhile to rent the motorbike. But, well, we all know what happened. So in the same week, I decided to extend my trip by a month, which means that the exit ticket I had bought from Thailand to Bali needed to be changed. Of course, I just get this shakedown from the travel agency and then they ghosted me. So that's also $97.77, just dead in the water. Add to that my indecisiveness. I had booked one hostel and then I panicked and I decided to change hostels. And of course, turns out I had to change the hostel by midnight the night before. An $8.96 deposit. Brutalized. This was all occurring when there was massive rains in Pai. There was a landslide the day after my car accident. Internet was down, electricity was down, so being able to even know what my financial position was challenging. I did reach this point where I was nearly out of cash. I hadn't put enough in my checking because I'm just not used to spending money as cash. Like that's just not how I operate. Chiang Mai, most places still will take your card. It's just the transaction fee. But that's just simply not an option here. In Pai, I think maybe 5 places at all accept cards, including hotels, restaurants, clothing stores. Another thing that made my money disappear in a way that I was not expecting. There's deposits for many things. So deposit for your room key, deposit for a motorbike. That's just like, oh, bye, see you later. Well, hopefully see you later. So overall, completely shafted, completely wasted, $211.24 in 1 week. Well, that number is not including a plane ticket back home that I bought this week. So that was an additional $620. This also doesn't include any potential additional damage expenses to the bike that might be incurred. It's not as bad as I thought. Well, I don't know what I thought. This is why I love traveling in countries that are more affordable. You can afford to make mistakes, you can afford to try things, you can afford to change your plans, which is very different from the US, where any one of the mistakes that I made this week could easily have cost more than the sum of the ones that I made here. I think it's so important when you're learning to work with your intuition to begin to trust in the universe, in the process, in the magic and the miracle of life. It's gonna take a while and you're gonna make mistakes, and that's the point. And at least in countries like Thailand, you can afford to explore in that way. The US is so expensive. How is anyone expected to be creative or try something truly new? I feel like we're convincing ourselves we're being innovative, but we're actually just making things shinier or overly technical. We just don't have the time to sit with the real problems and find the real solutions. So that's my rant about the US, but let's get back to Thailand. What I'm inviting myself into and what I invite you into as well is embracing the opportunities to make mistakes. Embracing fear and the edge of what is known as actually very exciting. This is the building of a true independent path forward. I am getting a lot more mindful with my finances and more aware and thoughtful of how I'm spending them. So if you're interested in joining on this journey with me, let me know in the comments. I will make the tracker that I've been using available. I hope you have a beautiful week and I'll see you soon.